Right now at 10 o'clock, as the coronavirus ramps up locally, tomorrow we'll see changes at churches, schools, and other events.
That's right. So much has changed in the past couple of hours, so we want to break it all down for you. Coming in just the past 10 minutes, we've learned Queen's University announced all students must be off campus by Sunday night. Tomorrow, there will be no classes for Covenant Day and Socrates Academy in Matthews, Charlotte Country Day, Charlotte Latin, and Providence Day School in Charlotte. Arborbrook Christian Academy in Matthews will not have classes for the next 2 weeks.
In Cabarrus County, the district says things are as normal tomorrow, despite a child at Cox Mill Elementary being exposed to the virus.
Now, the district sent a message home to parents today.
Today we were notified by Cabarrus Health Alliance that a student in our school has had contact with an individual who tested presumptive positive for COVID-19. The family is being monitored and quarantined until health officials allow them to resume their normal daily activities. The student has not been identified as communicable by the health department. Cox Mill Elementary and Cabarrus County schools continue to take safety precautions and proactive measures to reduce the risk of spreading COVID-19.
Now, Governor Roy Cooper is recommending the entire state, starting tomorrow, postpone or cancel events with more than 100 people. That includes any event, but here are a few: sporting events, concerts, faith-based events, any event with more than 100 people. He also recommends companies let people work from home when possible and try to stagger schedules to limit people being around each other.
And tonight, Channel 9 looked into how doctors decide who should be tested and when, as well as what social distancing or flattening the curve means. We start with anchor Genevieve Curtis on the changes that a lot of churches are making now. Genevieve.
Yeah, Erica, it is a hard decision for any faith leader to make. But today, bishops who are Methodist in North Carolina urged their Methodist churches not to have services for the next 2 weeks and instead take those services online.
Been in consultation with doctors, infectious disease specialists, and they increasingly, as the week has gone by, have just said you can't have people together. You're putting people at risk.
In times of turmoil, houses of worship often provide comfort and refuge. Now, Pastor James Howell at Myers Park United Methodist Church says while they are canceling services in person, they want people to stay spiritually connected through online services.
Oh, it's hard. I mean, we want to be together. We're trying to embrace it by saying, this is going to be a new way of connecting, right? Because, you want to touch people, you want to hug people. We can't do that now, but relationships still really matter.
While many are being asked to work from home and isolate, Howell says faith connection is important, even if it's virtually, and to continue to help those in need.
We want to be really attentive to our most vulnerable neighbors. So that may be the elderly, it may be the poor, people that are really severely impacted by the economy.
Senior Pastor Elizabeth Coppage Henley at Harrison Church in Ballantyne tells me they've also moved services online. And right now, her big concern is making sure their food pantry with loaves and fishes can stay open. Keeping services available for the homeless and the hungry is a big focus for a lot of churches right now.
Let's think about our disadvantaged neighbors.
And I asked one pastor how long they plan to have these online services. He told me right now there just is no timeline for that. We've also learned that Elevation Church has moved all of its services at all of its campuses online for this coming Sunday. Guys?
All right, Genevieve, thank you. Tomorrow, Chief Justice Beasley of North Carolina will talk about the North Carolina court system's response to coronavirus concerns. We understand that is going to take place at 11 a.m. tomorrow in Raleigh. Of course, we'll keep you posted on what is said.
There are concerns from local health officials about the number of tests that are available.
Also, questions about how the whole testing process happens from the moment someone thinks they are infected with coronavirus to the point when they're diagnosed. Reporter Joe Bruno started asking those questions and more, and he joins us now live tonight with some answers. Joe.
There are basically two different kinds of tests for coronavirus. One involves a swab up the nose. The other one goes to the back of the throat. The nasal one is more effective, doctors tell me. After those tests happen, oftentimes they'll be sent to a private lab like LabCorp, where there's a 3-day turnaround. Continued frustration from Governor Roy Cooper over the state's ability to test for COVID-19.
We did not receive the material that we were promised from the CDC, so we have begun working other avenues to do everything we can to make that happen.
The state lab has about 700 tests available. 900 are on back order. That 700 number is a big improvement. Wednesday, the state only had 250. The problem has been a lack of supplies that are used to extract genetic material to determine whether someone has coronavirus.
We are doing everything we possibly can to make sure that everyone who should get a test gets tested.
Fortunately, it is not just the state lab conducting the tests. North Carolina-based LabCorp has the ability to perform thousands of tests a day. That's where Dr. Ryan Shelton of Tryon Medical Partners sends his tests.
We do have plenty of tests, but it really needs to be reserved for folks for whom we have a higher index of suspicion to start with.
A sniffle and an earache isn't enough to get a test. Shelton says they are trying to save as many as possible for those who need them.
We're going to size up what are your symptoms, and then also what are your underlying risk factors, and then have you traveled.
Tryon Medical Partners is in the process of setting up a satellite location so people don't have to go to the medical office to get tested. Dr. Shelton is stressing that if you think you have any of the symptoms of coronavirus, that being a cough, fever, shortness of breath, wheezing, maybe even a sore throat, that you give the doctor's office a call ahead of time. Don't just show up saying that you have these symptoms of coronavirus. Really give them that call or do a virtual visit so you don't surprise the receptionist. Erica?
All right. Thank you, Joe. That'll help to keep the spread of this down. Right now, there are 5 local cases of coronavirus, 1 in Cabarrus County, 2 in Mecklenburg County, and 2 in Lancaster County. A total of 12 cases in South Carolina, 15 across North Carolina.
Breaking tonight, all American Airlines pilots, or I should say one American Airlines pilot has tested positive. The pilot based in Dallas-Fort Worth. We've asked if the pilot flew any flights in and out of Charlotte Douglas. American Airlines has not yet told us an answer to that question. They did send us a statement, though, tonight saying that American is in touch with the pilot and the CDC. They say the risk of transmission to passengers, in their opinion, is low. From the major leagues to high school, a lot of sports teams are impacted by this, and the whole March Madness basketball tournament was canceled.
And new tonight, the Carolina Panthers employees are now working from home. Sports anchor Matt Harris is here to break down all of that side for us. Matt?
For many of us, sports is an escape, but the sports world can't escape the effects of the coronavirus, from the pros all the way down to high school. Let's show you the schedules being impacted. The Carolina Panthers released a statement earlier this evening saying outside of a few exceptions, they have instructed staff to work from home. Their statement also says they have limited travel for coaches and scouts until further notice while preparing for the upcoming league year, which is set to officially begin on March 18th. March will be without madness this year. NCAA President Mark Emmert announced both the men's and women's basketball tournaments have been canceled. A lot of reaction on social media. Kara Consuegra, head coach of the Charlotte 49ers women's basketball team, tweeting, "Thankful for this team that I got to coach." She said, "I'm sad for these special seniors, but I know they have been built to respond to adversity and the best is yet to come." Spring championships have also been canceled, so no College Baseball World Series. The ACC and Conference USA are among the conferences to suspend all athletic competition indefinitely. As a result, the Charlotte 49ers spring football game set for March 21st has been canceled. The NBA suspended their season last night. According to The Athletic, the following policies have been put in place through Monday, March 16th for all 30 NBA teams. All players must remain in the market of the team they play for. Players should remain home as long as possible. No group workouts or practices, and team physicians and trainers are to speak to each player once a day. NASCAR released a statement earlier today. They plan to race as scheduled this weekend in Atlanta and next weekend at Miami Homestead, but without fans in attendance. Here's a look at where the schedule stands with leagues and organizations. The NBA has suspended their season. Major League Baseball will delay the start of their season by 2 weeks, and they have suspended spring training games. The NHL is pausing their season. Major League Soccer has suspended their season for 30 days. The Charlotte Checker season is on hold after the AHL suspended play. The NCAA canceled March Madness, and the North Carolina High School Athletic Association has postponed this weekend's basketball state title games. We will continue to keep you updated as we learn more about schedule changes and the impact of the coronavirus to the sports world.
All right, Matt Harris with that report. And, you know, this is impacting so many young people who, you know, they were really excited about those competitions.
I think especially about seniors, whether college or in high school, they didn't know maybe they already played in some sports their last game.
Yeah, so we will continue to follow that progress on the sports side. New tonight, there's a program that helps those who are homeless. We've learned that program is shutting down nearly 3 weeks early. Urban Ministry is saying that the last night for room in the inn will be tomorrow. People who are homeless are being notified of the change tonight.
The city of Charlotte is warning workers about COVID-19 scams. We have an email that the city's IT department sent out alerting employees about those scams. The email says be on the lookout for any unsolicited email with links or attachments about the virus. And if any emails, of course, are asking for a donation, verify the sender before you provide any money. In fact, I'd want to talk to someone, see someone in person before I gave money over an email solicitation. We put together a panel of experts to talk with you about coronavirus, and that's all coming up in a special report called Coronavirus Questions Answered. That will air live tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Channel 9, TV 64, and on WSOC TV Now.